So I'm interrupting this regular scheduled program to bring this to you today.
Can anybody tell me why, no matter the country, whether it be Canada, the United States, Australia, New Zealand, um, white people in these countries tend to have this ownership as though they are natives of this land and not immigrants themselves, children, grandchildren of immigrants? You know, it really is a baffling experience to watch the entitlement and sense of ownership that people have.
Who's in the room with me? Let's sit at the table and talk. It's a girl, Am. Now you might say, what does this have to do with anything? I mean, are you in Nairobi? Are you not in Nairobi? Like, I don't get it. You're doing fashion, you're doing interior design. What are you doing? What's your platform? I do all that. That's the bottom line. I'm all that and then some. Yeah, you can't pigeonhole yourself. And I know that the whole thing about niche down, niche down, niche down, but this is also part of it because I'm niching down in talking about this particular conversation. So, Caleb, in answer to your question, why is it that individuals thinks that it's okay to actually speak as if they're the original entitled owner to the land, which nobody owns land anyways? You know, you might think you own things, but you don't. But all you can do is benefit from the use of. And the bottom line is that individuals came into these said countries, whether they were brought there, i.e., individuals from England that live in or reside in Australia, individuals that went there, individuals from Europe that reside in the US and Canada, or whether they just happen to immigrate there. The bottom line is that it's about entitlement. These people are self entitled. They feel entitled. You said it yourself in your comment. And why is that they feel entitled? They just do. And the more that they do, i.e., whether it's, you know, fight a war, go to war to fight, whether it's placing money into the economy or stealing money from the economy, they feel entitled. Whether it's to remove individuals from their homeland, taken, enslaved, to build their economy, to build their country, to build their wealth, and never acknowledge or apologize, and to this day, even trying to rewrite history. But then that's another day's conversation. I had to go down the path of looking at ownership of land and who owns the land. And when Canada was formed, when the Europeans came in and took basically stole the land, took ownership of the land, that ownership was taken under the crown being the monarchy of England, and that land was taken under the crown. So the crown owns 67% of Canada. Now, I know people say it's 87%, and that math is actually wrong. When you do the math across the different provinces and the three territories, when you do the math and you do the percentage as far as ownership, it is actually 67% of the land is owned by Canada, by the crown, sorry. Now, now whether it's 67% or 89% according to what is stated on Google, the bottom line is Canada is mineral rich, resource rich, trees, fisheries. Um, and this is part of the reason why the conversation about acquiring Canada. So, those that claim to own the land is it's just greed. It is just that entitlement and greed. They want more. They never can think that they have enough. They just want to control more. That's the bottom line. So to answer your question, it is just that they want more. They feel entitled, they want more, whether it's Canada, whether it's Greenland, whether it's Burkina Faso, whether it's the Congo, whether it's all of Africa. The greed on this planet is beyond comprehension. It's beyond reproach. The greed is what's driving, that has always driven all of these instability. The greed in Palestine. Imagine that. Imagine that. They opened their doors and homes. Hmm? And then the turn, the entitlement. To answer your question, it is just down to entitlement and greed for more. Point blank. It boils down to greed. Greed for more resources, greed for land, greed for rare earth, greed for things to continue to keep their wealth propped up. They're never satiated. They're never happy with what they have. My God, Elon Musk, how many billions more do you need? How many more? When you rape and pilfer and plunder African countries to the fact that people and children are taken advantage of daily. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. When you displace individuals from their natural, from where they lived for hundreds of years, after they invited you and allowed you to settle, how much more will you continue to take? Lives doesn't seem to matter anymore. Land doesn't seem to matter anymore. That's the sad reality. So, to answer your question, Caleb Hart, it's greed, it's entitlement, and it's about money. The sad reality. And you have to ask yourself who's behind all that. The trait is very common. Sad to say, but it is true.